Hello, everyone, and welcome to Plate Stack Chat. My name is Jason, and what is this? 2 shows in one day. I know, absolutely crazy, but here we are. And joining me on this second show, I have 2 more fabulous guests. So let's bring them out now. First up, we have a CrossFit semi-finals athlete that, if you haven't caught competing in the UK, you might have seen at the Far East Throwdown. She also looks like she took the comment section with people saying that CrossFitters don't do real pull-ups very seriously, as she is on a mission to prove them wrong by making dips, pull-ups, and ring muscle-ups much harder by just adding loads of weight. Getting ready to head off and compete in the street lifting European finals, it is Florence Wong. Hello,
Hi.
Flo. Welcome. And I also know that you are not feeling 100% today. But
Yeah,
fortunately, it's only maybe your throat and voice that's affected, which shouldn't matter for an audio and visual podcast like this. So
yeah,
um,
no, I'll be fine. It'll be
you'll be
okay.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you need a break, you just have to throw to our second guest who is joining us now. So joining Flo and myself is an athlete that I first saw about 2 years ago at the British Teen Championships. She is about 20 years younger than me and yet snatches about 20 kilos more than me. Getting ready to head off to represent the British Functional Fitness Federation at the World Championships in December, it is super teen Molly Butcher.
Hi.
Hi, Molly. I was showing my wife like who you were yesterday when I very last minute booked you in. Thank you, by the way.
No bother.
Appreciate that. And it was like it was you snatching 80 kilos and looking very happy about it. And I was like, oh yeah, I was just like, oh, it's just one of those annoying teens that's very good very early. I was already 30 when I started CrossFit. There was no hope for me. Welcome to both of you. You've both got very exciting things coming up. So that's nice. I guess, Flo, yours is first. You said you're flying tomorrow.
Yeah. So I'm flying to Berlin tomorrow afternoon. And the comp's on Sunday afternoon. So there's going to be a live stream actually. So
Oh, is there?
hopefully I don't like. Yeah. It's quite interesting. They asked for songs for your third attempt. Yeah. So for each of the lifts, you can request different songs. So I've curated. I spent about 2 hours looking for songs.
Okay. Now,
So yeah,
I am interested to know if the songs will be on the live stream, though, because
yeah, true.
that's a quick way for it to get shut down.
Yeah, that's true. They might mute it in some way, but yeah, it's cool that they'll have the live stream, and those who don't really know about the sport, hopefully they'll get to know more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will talk about the sport, by the way. Corey very kindly says, not true. I started CrossFit at 41. You have plenty of time, Jason. But, he supports me, which is nice. So if people don't know what you're doing, I mean, it's very interesting. The street lifting, which has got an interesting name anyway, because do you know the origin of like why they picked that as the name at all, or?
Not exactly. I should come prepared, shouldn't I? But
No.
essentially,
Oh, no. Like, preparation on this show stops after the intro. That's I prepare that bit, and everything else is just whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because you're not actually lifting streets, right? You're just
No. But a lot of people do feel like, oh, what? So do you just literally lift on the street like lockdown, that sort of
yeah,
thing? And I think so recently I also had to submit some stuff, some kind of, I guess, credentials and things like that to this invitational that I might be doing in Macau at the end of the month. So that's in Asia, and they translated it, and it was literally they translated it word for word, street lifting, as if I am actually going to lift on the street.
yeah.
So I mean,
So, like,
I get it. I don't know what the origins are, but yeah.
yeah, okay, but now already tangent. What's happening in Macau?
Oh, so
Why is it a
I was
secret?
gonna see how. No, it's not a secret. It's more like I was gonna see how my body was gonna feel after this comp, and then I'll see if I do it. But it is an invitational I'm not sure if they've actually announced all the competitors yet, but the roster is looking pretty good. So they've just invited kind of 12 female, 12 male athletes, a mix of games and semifinalists, and maybe like quite prominent athletes in China or Asia. So yeah, 4 events in 2 days. I think it's called Power Explore. So you might
Okay.
see it on the CrossFit page. But yeah, it looks pretty good. It's in Macau. They're holding it at the MGM, which is, I mean, when I received the info the other day, I was gobsmacked, and I definitely had imposter syndrome.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like for there, it's like Rogue Invitational kind of levels, I guess, sort of
If
hype
only.
wise. No,
Yeah,
I
I
mean
guess
in the
so.
sense
I
of
guess
like,
so. Yeah.
like as you said, like the venue, the
Yeah.
location, invite, very kind of
Yeah.
you get that feeling of like
Mm.
not elitism, but sort of like, hey, this is a
Yeah.
curated competition here. It's not just log in online, submit your scores. Hey, if you get through, come along.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Corey is very prolific in the comments today. We don't do show prep here, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then imposter syndrome is real. Yes, as someone who was going to be like flashing around their media pass at the Rogue Invitational next weekend, I absolutely agree with you that it is very
Oh,
real.
I can't
The
wait
imposter syndrome.
to watch your coverage.
Well, let's see what we get first of all. But yes, and then so we'll come back to your trip to Germany. Molly, you're also off soon, a little bit later. You're going in December.
Yeah.
Where are you heading?
I'm off to Budapest for the International Functional Fitness World Championships in December.
And that's going to be like huge.
Yeah.
Just with the amount of people that are there. Like it's because I did, if anybody's interested, if you're watching this and you don't already know, which is a bit strange, but like there is a show with the CEO and director of operations of the British Functional Fitness Federation on here, and they talk a little bit about this world's event. But because it's the same year as the Olympics, they do like a super event, so it's even bigger than usual.
Yeah, so they've got like all age groups, masters, teens, all there together, which is going to be so fun. I'm so excited.
And I mean, I don't even know if I should be saying this, Molly. This is how like just in the kind of maybe this is. I might be there.
Really?
Yeah, maybe. I'll let you know if it happens. But I'm in conversation. I might be there.
That's cool. Nice.
Which I wasn't expecting to be able to be there, but maybe that's happening. It is the weekend after FitFest, so I will also be there the weekend before, probably. And it's actually I had to send someone a message today, like to cancel a load of stuff to get out of stuff. And I was like, I'm really sorry. I'm never away. I barely go on holiday. I'm always around. And suddenly November, December, I'm just like, sorry, I'm away this weekend. Oh, I'm away that weekend. I'm away the following weekend. So that's a shame. But and if I'd known about this street lifting European finals in Germany, maybe I'd be there. Who knows?
Yeah.
Right. So both have exciting competitions. They're very different. One is much more classic CrossFit style, I would say, although we're probably not allowed to say that, but the functional fitness competition. It's got certain stages. It follows. It's like CrossFit, but more controlled, like more
structured,
more rules.
Yeah,
I guess more rigid on like what movements are accepted and things like that.
Yeah.
Street lifting is crazy. It's just it's. I read your. I like went back and found your the total you put up for the UK event. I guess was it the
the UK Nationals. Do you want me to kind of quickly talk about what actually what the sport actually entails?
Yes,
because I feel like it's almost like, so do you actually lift on the street or not?
Well, no, I think, see, even that though, the like street lifting thing, I kind of get it in the sense of like you see certain YouTube videos where people are doing similar things like in the park, for example.
Yeah.
But
I'm not
also,
in the park, by the way.
Yeah, but also they don't have access to like all the weight plates that you would need to do exactly what you're doing. And yeah, please tell us
Yeah.
what is street lifting for those that didn't look at the reel I
Yeah.
quickly posted before going live.
So it is for 1 rep maxes. So you start with the muscle up, and then you move on to the pull up, then the dip. So it's a strict bar dip, and then back squat.
Yeah.
So how it all came about, basically, I've always been quite a good, I guess, strict pull upper. So with my coach, he loves giving me loads of weighted pull ups, and I just got really good at them, especially during lockdown, because I had a doorway pull up bar, and that was all I could do. So it was just strict pull, some pressing, and then squats in the house type thing. Anyway, so I posted a reel. I did a 50-kilo weighted pull up, and I think that caught the eye of some of the calisthenics community. And funny enough, when some of the people from the community then followed me, I actually sent a screenshot to my coach saying, see, I'm getting in. Because obviously, not famously, but I think sometimes when you go to the gym, there is a little bit of rivalry because we're doing our butterfly pull-ups or kipping pull-ups, and then people will be like, yeah, but those aren't even pull-ups.
Yeah.
Like, why you can like stop swinging around and things like that, but yet you tell them to do it. They haven't experienced it for themselves. They don't actually understand how difficult it is to keep their rhythm and why it might be important for our sport. Anyway, so then I spoke to this guy called Jermaine. So Jermaine Straker, he's quite well known in the calisthenics and street lifting community. So he's an athlete himself, and he runs Cultured Strength out in East London. And he just mentioned that there was this competition, so the UK Nationals for street lifting in June. And I said to him that my focus was more on getting back to the semifinals in Asia. And at the time that was going to be May. So I just thought, okay, well, latest, I'm not gonna prep for street lifting, but I think with my numbers, I can just turn up and see what happens. So came back from the semis from Korea back in May, and then did a couple of weeks with Jermaine. Did some, I was keeping up with my kind of pull-ups and dips and everything anyway through my own program. And then rocked up at the UK Nationals, met the other girls. It was a really fun day, and then I came first in my category. So I won my category, and I think it was the top 3 or top 2. No, top 3 for each country then go to the European Championships. And at the time, I was quite sure that I was going to qualify. And then, got the invite, and everything just got very serious quite quickly. So it's been really fun. The muscle up was probably the most challenging one for me, because obviously it's not just strict strength. But it's more, in CrossFit, we don't do strict muscle ups that often. So you have the choice between a ring muscle up and a bar muscle up, especially for girls. So in my case, I've been doing ring muscle ups.
Yeah.
And then for the pull up, you can also choose your grip. So you can either do pronated, so pull up, or chin up. So I'll be doing chin ups again for this comp. Dip, same thing. And then back squat, obviously you can low bar or high bar, but I've never done low bar. I don't really intend on doing any more low bar either. Just because of the sport that I do, obviously for CrossFit and weightlifting, it's just I guess it could help, but the high bar squat just carries over a bit more.
Yeah, I mean, the only one I think the back squat's the only one that stands out to me as like a bit odd in that lineup, because it is, you say, it is kind of all pulling strength and dips. It's sort of all stuff you just see people doing.
Yeah, like calisthenics.
Like
right?
as I said, like on the street in like the park. They're like, oh look, I can do pull-ups here. I can do dips on this. Muscle ups. Yeah, even in a tree or something.
Yeah.
But a back squat is like, I've got to have a rack. I've got to have a bar. I've got to have enough weight to. Also, because that's the amount of weight you're going to. Well, I don't know. You're putting a lot of weight up anyway, but generally the amount of weight you're going to do on a weighted chin up isn't going to be quite close to what you're doing on a back squat. So interesting. I have to just address a few comments quickly. So while you were explaining all of this, Augustus is asking if I changed my shirt from earlier. He's then gone and checked and come back with, no, I didn't. And the funny thing is, normally I would, if I was doing 2 shows on the same day, I would just change just for later. If I make reels, it looks like I'm not always wearing the same shirt. And then Corey has just said, FYI, Sweaty Flow is possibly the best out of your hand I've ever seen. So
Oh
congratulations.
my. It's I actually tried to change it to something a little bit more civilized and grown up, like my name, but there are just so many Florence Wongs out there. And when I did actually find one that worked, like Flo Wong, no one recognized me. And they're like, yeah, but it's your brand. And
Yeah.
people call me Sweaty. They just, I mean, I have a few friends who just call me Sweaty. So
There is, that does happen. I mean, that happens a lot within, I think, as well, like our world, where you know people quite well, but you only really know them online because we're all in different parts of the world. And I catch myself often being like, oh, I know their Instagram handle, and I
yeah.
can't think of their name actually. Oh, this is happening again. I was gonna say, I haven't heard Molly speak in a while.
Yeah.
Hey Molly, you ever doing any strict work with weighted pull-ups, weighted chin-ups?
I wouldn't say that that's my forte.
No,
Not gonna
I mean,
lie. We've been getting there with the strict strength. It's coming on, but definitely not to that level.
see. Now I was just saying, what's his? Isn't I thought it was the same as your YouTube one here, isn't it? Fittest auditor. I don't know. Just leave me alone. I don't know. Anyway, see, this is the thing, Molly. He calls me out for not letting you talk enough, and then while you're talking, he's writing comments. Now I'm going to have to look up his stupid Instagram handle as well. Okay. So, yeah, that's, I think we do well for me, the ring. This, going back to the comment about people. Just worried because suddenly a little Wi-Fi thing's popped up on my computer, so I'm hoping things aren't about to freeze. But anyway, anyway, right. Let's stop looking at the comments. So going back to like people criticizing, oh, you do butterfly pull-ups, or we don't do real pull-ups, all of that like nonsense. I can only do strict ring muscle-ups. I just can't kip them.
Mm.
So, I think a lot of that is also because we did a workout recently that it was like 3 rounds, and each round the run got longer. It was like 3 rounds, then it was 2 rounds, and then it was 1 round, and then the run got longer each time, and like the bar, like the movement kind of, I think it was pull-ups, then it was like 3 rounds of like 10 pull-ups, then it was 2 rounds of like 15 toes to bar maybe, and then the final one was muscle ups. So it was just a lot of kipping. It was a lot of kipping, and afterwards my shoulders were just. This is a thing, Molly. When you get old, yeah, it's not a humble brag. It's I would like to be able to. Actually, 2 years ago, when I was at British Teen Championships watching Molly throw down, do you remember there were ring muscle ups in one of the workouts?
Yeah, I couldn't
And
do
was it
that workout.
And who was there? But there was it? I want to say Kiara, maybe not. No, not Kiara. Kira, maybe.
Oh,
That she could only do strict. So all the girls that
yeah,
could do
it
it were
was
like
Kira.
kipping,
Yeah,
and she was having to do strict ones during the
she won
workout.
that workout because I got to the rings like second on that workout, and I just couldn't ring muscle up like at all.
Yeah.
So I just swung around on the rings for like 5 minutes at the end of the workout.
It's a good way to kind of finish off the day, isn't it? But that wasn't the final event of the day, actually.
No, it wasn't.
The final event of the day, I was just watching people smash their shins on boxes because it was
I didn't trip over the box in that event. I was quite happy with that.
It was like a sprint on. Was it row?
It was row, burpee box jump overs, bike erg, burpee box jump overs, like full on sprint.
Yeah, that was fun. Okay, sorry for
Jelly legs.
the detour there. Good. So I'm just, Augustus is just monitoring how much I let the different guests speak. So I'm just making sure to be fair and share it across. You said that like you're not feeling 100% at the moment, Flo. Do you worry that will affect your performance at the weekend? That
I'm
being
not
said,
sure.
you did just also say you weren't even going to train for the last one. You would just go to semi-finals, and you're pretty sure you could just rock up and you'd be fine. So, you know.
Yeah, so for the UK nationals, it was more in the context of I'd never been in the sport before, so the street lifting, and there's only so much you can do to improve, right? It's a strength sport. So if you want to put on kilos, you're going to have to do a cycle or just work on your technique and everything. So I kind of just rocked up and did the comp, and I was pretty healthy, and it was all good. The only thing with this comp is that, yeah, I might have a mild case of swollen tonsils right now, and it hurts to swallow. But at least, yesterday I did a SID qualifier, and then I hit 103 on a clean jerk, and that felt good. So I don't think it's going to affect me in that way. It's more because of the training for this comp. I have been using my lat a lot, so my right lat is currently just a little bit irritated whenever I pull. So it seems like with Pilates, I've found a way to make the ring muscle ups feel a little bit better. But on the chin ups, I did it earlier, just one last session, and I didn't feel too good. But at the end of the day, it's just 3 attempts, so I just have to go for it. Like I can't. I think when I'm on the platform, I just turn up. I can't just pussy out. Are we allowed to swear?
I mean, it's live. I can't stop you doing anything, can I?
Yeah, sorry.
Um,
I need to mind my language.
do you think? Because like, considering you're saying like the muscle ups feel okay, it's the pull. I guess then you've got to go from the chin up to the dip. So that could be annoying if you've sort of aggravated something between. But like the
Yeah.
order of events you were saying, it kind of feels like with the order that they put the events in, events, if that's the right word, or movements or whatever it is, that that kind of works in your favor a little bit then, that at least the muscle ups is the one that feels the best, and then the chin up, you're like, okay, but now then you move into the dip, and then finally the back squat, like that should be fine. You're
Yeah,
confident
exactly.
with the
So
back
I
squat.
think, if anything, it works well because the ring muscle ups obviously won't be as heavy as the chin ups. Sorry, I just saw a comment from Augustus. What type of cycle flow? I'm talking about strength cycle. I'm clean. I don't do anything weird. I'm talking about strength cycle. So because obviously we were talking about the semifinals back then. A lot of my training back then was more about mixed modal stuff. It wasn't as focused on strength training. But after the semifinals, then I had like a few weeks to play around, and then based on just like my numbers from before, I was able to then compete at the street lifting UK nationals. Hopefully that's clear.
I think it's clear. I think
Yeah.
I think we're following the story. Yeah.
Yeah. Where was I?
You talked about the order of events.
Oh, order of events. Yeah, exactly. So yes, I think that'll be a good warm up into the chin ups. And then that's going to be probably the most painful part for myself. And then I'll go on to the dips will be fine. The dips are actually really fun. And then because street lifters use powerlifting equipment,
Right.
which we're not really used to. So the elbow sleeves and the knee sleeves and also the belt that I've got, just insane. It's like you've got another pair of arms, another back, another set of knees. It's just so hard to put on. So my boyfriend's coming with me, so we kind of had a test run, but it didn't really work well. So I don't know what we're gonna do about that.
I can't believe Augustus asking what is street lifting. Like it's this thing we've just said. It's this she lifts on the streets. Okay. Just
Okay.
wind back a
Maybe
little
I
bit.
wasn't that clear.
No, I think you were clear. I think he turned up halfway through. That's probably the problem. So we were saying it's
Okay.
it's a weighted muscle up. So we'll just use the ones you're doing because there are some variations, but the ones you're doing. So it's a weighted strict ring muscle up, weighted chin up, weighted dip on the bars, and then a back squat.
Yeah.
And then also there's weight categories, right? So like you're in a specific weight category, and then of the well, let's just take back squat out for a moment. But of the like the other lift, which is the one that's sort of like your, I guess, your speciality, or the one where you think like, oh, this is where I can make up some kilos on my competition?
So, like at the UK Nationals, if you compare my numbers, a lot of it came from the chin up and the dip, actually. The muscle up was where I was a little bit further behind, just because I wasn't really that. I guess I didn't really train with weight at the time, so I hit 5 kilos at the time, but now it's like a training weight. So I'll just keep working on that. I mean, basically, I've just been doing straight lifting for the last 3 months, right? So chin ups. The only thing is, obviously, with the chin ups, now that I've got this issue with the lat, I'm a little bit scared about, pulling it and whatnot. But I'll just turn up and I'll do what I can.
Yeah. So you can't be thinking about Macau now. You've got to forget about that for a moment.
If anything, Macau is probably a walk in the park, because I don't even know what the events are.
Yeah.
And then I'll probably my parents will be there, so it'll be nice. I'm sure it'll be nice.
It'll be like a nice little holiday with some fitness. And this is the big comp. Yeah, exciting. I mean, do you remember the numbers you got on your? I mean, I'm sure you do, but the numbers you got on the UK one?
Yeah. So ring muscle up, I hit 5 kilos, but that's a training weight now, so I'm pretty happy about that. Chin up. So that was really frustrating. On my second attempt, I hit 45, and then on my third attempt, I did 51.25, and I hit it, but I went too early. So they have a command, they have a stick or something, and I saw the stick go up, no, sorry, it was the other way around. So the guy said go, but then the stick wasn't fully up yet, and then I went. So then I jumped the command, and I didn't get that rep. So that was really annoying, because I got my chin over the bar. And then
they didn't stop you like halfway through when they're going, by the way, this rep's not going to count, just relax. No. They'd let you fight for it, get it, and then that's kind of them.
Yeah, that's how I was pretty shocked at the end. But hey, you live and you learn. So next time I just have to be a little bit more patient, make sure that I actually see the command, right? So it's on me.
Yeah. By next time, you literally mean Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday, or if there are any future comps as well. And then my dip, I hit 57.5, and it felt like I had a bit more in the tank. So hopefully I've got a little bit more this Sunday. And then on the back squat, I hit 145. So hoping to hit a little bit more this time as well.
Okay. Did you have all so you're talking about like the powerlifting equipment that you're using now. Did you have all that equipment then as well? Or
I borrowed it.
Oh, okay.
So everyone from the Cultured Strength team like lent bits and pieces to me, and they're like, here, use this. And I was like, what is this? Why is it so thick? And I remember I put on the knee sleeves. They're called rigor mortis, and there's a reason why they're called that. I mean, it took about 3 people to take it off me and put it on me as well. And between my attempts for the squats, I'd never felt like my leg go numb like that before. Really? It was just cutting off my blood circulation and stuff. It was just insane, because obviously you get to the bottom of the squat with those knee sleeves and you just bounce straight back out.
Yeah. So I almost feel like we should be able to counter the kind of, you don't do real pull-ups in CrossFit with, guys, you don't really squat, dip, do pull-ups, do anything. You're half machine when you do it all. We're not even allowed to wear certain grips. Can't wear too. It does make you, sometimes you feel like, I don't know, you feel like you see like, when the standards come out and they're like, oh, this person's cheating because they're trying to wear like 2 pairs of knee sleeves, or this is happening, and CrossFit are very strict on trying to, and then when people get away with it, people are very quick to call them out and show, sort of thing. And you can have, and I feel sometimes it's a bit like, well, who cares, sort of thing. But as you're saying, like, you really feel the difference of kind of having this equipment, or like the belt, when they were talking about the size of the belt that you can use, like you've said, like it's like having an additional back if you can have that thick belt. So interesting.
Yeah. Well, exactly. So I was going to turn up on the day with my weightlifting belt, my two-pood, and everything that I'm used to. Obviously, we need things that are a little bit softer because in Ollie lifting, we need a little bit more. We need to be a little bit more agile. But I turned up and they're like, no. Use this. Like, have you used this? And I mean, if I don't use it, I'm at a disadvantage, right? So
yeah, so
I
it's
kind of
like the
have to,
opposite, isn't it?
yeah.
To like CrossFit, you're saying
Yeah.
like you're cheating because you're creating an advantage that others don't have. Here, you're like, well, no, this is the level playing field, so I need that.
Yeah.
I would also
exactly.
like to see you try and like quickly drop into the bottom of a snatch with those knee sleeves, where you're sort of like fighting to try and get down.
Yeah, I don't think I can even get into the bottom position to begin with.
Yeah.
And also the SBD belt, if anyone's tried it before, it really gets into your ribs as well. So again, it's like up and down, fine. But if you need to move at all, I mean, you really can.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
So, Molly, are you planning a shift across to drop
No.
No?
Definitely not.
No. Now, I have to also break something up, Molly, because I had a feeling you were like taking a break from competing.
Really?
Yeah, I thought you had said like, oh, I'm just gonna like
I took a
towards the
little
end
bit
of
of
the
a
year,
break.
like you were gonna
Yeah.
just kind of take a little bit, not like you were retiring from competing because you're only 18, so
Yeah.
that's a very early retirement. But I'm sure you'd been like, oh, because I'd seen you do a few comps. I think you did like a pairs comp, a few different things. And you were like, okay, guys, I've been competing all year. Now I'm gonna just take it easy for a little bit. I'm gonna
that was the plan.
Yeah.
I withdrew from Marbella.
That's it. That's the one I see. Yes.
Yeah. So I withdrew from Marbella at the end of August. I was starting university this year, and I just wanted to be able to focus on that a little bit. So withdrew, got in touch with them. I was like, right, I'm going to the Crown again in December, and I always had that there. But I was like, nothing till then. And then Jack Cornthwaite got in touch with me, who's the elite pathway manager for British Functional Fitness, and basically invited me to go to the national trials. They were only down in Sheffield, which is like an hour and a half down the road for me. So I was like, you know what? I'll go, see what happens. Went there, won 3 out of the 4 events and qualified for world champs, which probably, I didn't expect it at all. But yeah, so now I'm going to the Crown in Tenerife on the 7th of December, and then coming home on the Monday, flying back out to Budapest on the Wednesday for world champs. So I've got a very busy 2 weeks, but really looking forward to it.
You're just like Flo, like, oh, I'll go do semi-finals and then I'll go to this competition. And now you're, and I was, and the show I did at 4:00 was with Taylor Howe, and she competed last weekend in Germany. She's at Rogue in not this weekend, but next weekend. And then she's doing another comp the following weekend. You guys are mad. I don't know how you would do it, but that's interesting. Okay. I didn't know you were going to the Crown again.
I am, yeah. So I went there in June in Madrid, and we all basically got an invite straight back to the next edition that they're doing. And it genuinely one of the best experiences I've ever had. So I basically took the opportunity straight away again.
So you were there with Hannah as well, right?
Yeah.
And she's also going to, is she going to Budapest as well?
Yeah.
And is she doing the Crown again?
No, she's not doing the Crown again.
She was like, I do need a little break.
Yeah, just me who decided to do it all.
Yeah. Well, she went to the games as well, didn't she? So she's had
she did. Yeah.
She's had a pretty busy year.
Yeah.
I don't know how, blows my mind how you have time to do all of this. What else what are you doing? So you just started university, is that, or you're just
Yes. Yeah.
What are you studying?
Psychology.
Uh-oh. Okay. Now I think back to everything I've said so far on the show. Corey Jason might be, isn't it like 10 there? What? Oh, sorry. Again, I get distracted by the comments. I don't know what your psychology says about that. He said I might be. It's about 10. No, it's only 20 to 9, but I am very tired. So I had written my intro originally, and I've just noticed I didn't say it, but I was going to say, like, I apologize if I look tired or if I yawn or if I fall asleep, because it's been it's been a very long day. So that's exciting. Yeah, you've both got really interesting stuff coming up, but it's sort of I love it as well because they're like CrossFit adjacent, all of them. They're sort of
Side quests.
Yes, but that's the great thing. That's the good thing about CrossFit is, like, you get good at a lot of different stuff, and then it's easy to find other things that you can. You guys had your out. Yeah, we did have the clock set back already. I don't know why America waits an additional week before they set their clock back. Makes my life very difficult for scheduling shows. But currently, there's a bigger difference of time gap between us. I just realized then, so you're going to be in the Crown during the same weekend of FitFest then?
Yeah, I am. I was planning to go to FitFest with the academy program, but we hadn't sort of got a team fully sorted, and that came up. I sort of got in contact with them. I was like, is there any chance this would be okay? And they were like, go for it. Like, it's obviously an unbelievable opportunity to be able to go back out there. So yeah, same weekend.
Yeah, I heard. I did hear about the team today. So
yes,
I think they have got.
They do
got
have
two
a team.
teams.
Yeah, they've got a girls' team and a boys' team.
Yeah, are they secret or do people already know about the teams?
I know the girl. I don't know the boys one. I know the girls one.
I know both. Do you want to know? Are we allowed to know? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if they're secrets. I got sent a message from Claire, so I was like, oh.
I don't think they are.
No. Okay. Well then, Kiara, Ella, and Hannah.
Yeah.
That's what. Okay. That's why I was asking if Hannah was going. If Hannah was going to the Crown, because I was like, hold on, I thought she was on that team. And is that Kiara? Is that Kiara Silva?
Yeah. And then Ella Henry. Yeah, don't know if you've seen her. Ridiculously strong 14-year-old, clean and jerking 90 kilos at 14.
I mean, it hurts to hear it, you know. That is insane. The boys is it's been written here Price, but I think it's Pierce.
Oh yeah.
Because I recognise the surname going. Joe Thompson and Connor Kemp, of course. Yeah. So
good team.
Okay. We threw tea in the harbour to be able to turn the clocks whichever way we want. Wow. So now we've understood why America rebelled. That's okay. And Augusta says he can clean and jerk 90 kilos too. Yeah, I bet you can, but you're not 14 either. So that's when did you start CrossFit, Flo?
I started just before COVID, so 2019. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So before that, I was just doing kind of the F45s and like loads of classes and things.
Yeah. So like always were you always into fitness? Sort of, was that just kind of CrossFit came naturally, or was it a kind of change of the trajectory of your life a bit?
Yeah. I think I was definitely more of a cardio bunny back then, more self-loathing cardio bunny.
Right.
So I would do loads of classes and
not doing just 50-kilo weighted dips then.
No. It was more about trying to lose weight and trying to be skinny and all that stuff. And then I remember someone invited me to turf games. And I had no idea what I was doing, but I just remember rocking up, and I did see quite a lot of CrossFit girls who were just lifting barbells like it was nothing. I was like, I want that. So at the time I had a ballot spot for a lot of marathons. So I was like, right, after I've done this, I'm going to go and join my local gym. And then the rest is history. And then COVID happened and I had a coach. So he made, I think in a way, I know obviously it was a really difficult time for a lot of people. for a lot of us, we had to take our training indoors and whatnot. But in a way, because it was quite early in my CrossFit journey, it forced me to do a lot of things like strict. So it meant that when I came out of the pandemic, when we were allowed back in gyms, I had that base strength for gymnastics. So then all the kipping stuff, all the butterfly things and muscle ups kind of then came to me quite easily. I actually got my first bar muscle up in my backyard because I had this dodgy scaffolding rig. And it was actually the 2021, was it 2021? Yeah, 2021 Open. So I had because I just had a backyard and some of my friends came over and we did the open workouts on this dodgy rig.
Yeah. That was the one with like, it was like pull-ups, then it like progressed up, right? And then there was a part A, an A and B, and then the B was like a barbell complex, wasn't it?
Yeah. Exactly.
I remember doing that outside somebody's gate because like again, because you couldn't even go into people's gardens like together, kind of. You weren't allowed to go. So we were all his back gate was faced onto a park. So we'd done the dumbbell clean box jump over one.
Oh, that was horrible.
The week before we'd done it in the park by his house, and this time we just moved closer to his gate so we could have the barbell outside. And then like we were taking it in turns to do the workout, and the one person would like run into his gate and use the pull-up bar he had in his garden so we could try and do what a fun open that was.
Yeah, exactly. It was like so I was lucky and I had this like big shared patio type thing for the whole building, so it was quite a big space. And I just remember I had loads of those kids like play mats, and then we just had to control the barbell down because otherwise we'd smash the floor tiles. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And actually my best friend and I both got our first bar muscle ups from that workout, so yeah, it was very memorable. And then and I remember, that was when wall walks came in, right, for the first workout?
Yeah,
I remember
double under wall walk workout.
I remember because we had to skip in the car park, and obviously the floor is really rough, and you could see in my video that my rope was literally making sparks with the floor.
Oh, really?
Like it was gonna be a health and safety hazard at some point.
So I did that with a different member of the box. We went to a different park, and we did that one. And because we thought, we'd brought some mats, but they were like soft mats, and it was so windy that it was just blowing the mat. Like every time you stepped off it, it was just like getting blown away. And then we were doing wall walks, but we went because we were like, oh, this park, there's kind of like the building, there, surely we'll be able to do a walk. And we walked around it, and there was like there was security cameras, so you couldn't. And it wasn't so much like security cameras, we couldn't do it. It was more where they were placed, like you'd kick them and stuff like that. And we ended up having to do them on like a kind of like a column, so your feet had to be really close together so that they didn't fall off of this column.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Molly, did you do
I was going to ask Molly, did you do the opening?
So that was the very first year that I was old enough to do the open. So that was sort of my first experience of the open. So I did it at home. I've been doing CrossFit I started in 2017, so I was 10 when I started.
Wow.
And you can't do the open until you're 14. So I was basically waiting every year to be able to do it. And then the first year I could do it, we were obviously in lockdown. I did it at home. I remember that barbell complex one. I got 55 for the complex. I was like, PB my clean and jerk. I was over the moon. Couldn't bar muscle up, could barely pull up. But yeah, that was my first ever open. And the first one I was old enough to actually do and enter.
Wow, you're 14. How old was I? I don't want to reveal my age. I'm 30 now, so you can.
I was going to say, surely we can just look it up on your CrossFit profile.
Oh yeah, thanks. I'm at the age where when I go to a bar or Sainsbury's, and if they ID me, I'm like, It's such a like, I'm very flattered.
That for me was the biggest change during like COVID and lockdowns, and that was that pre-COVID I used to get ID'd quite often because I always had quite like a baby face, and I always used to joke with people when they would like, "Oh, you look so young, you look so young," and I'd be like, "No, no, no, but look into my eyes, and you'll see these are old eyes. These have seen things." And when we started wearing masks in shops, I never got ID'd again.
It's the eyes.
Yeah, and then in January this year, I got really ill, and I was like stuck at home for a month, and so I decided I'd grow a beard, and so that's that's been the other thing that stopped me getting ID'd a bit. But yeah, there you go. So it's interesting that you were saying about like doing lots of strict pulling during the lockdown, because I remember that being the thing that so many people were like concerned about when we couldn't go to the gym was, oh, like they'd been doing like a progression to try and get a pull up, or they just started getting pull ups, and they were like, oh no, I'm gonna lose my pull ups, and sort of when we went back to the box, they were like, oh, I can't do pull ups again, and it was sort of, see, they didn't have a scaffolding rig in the back garden like you. That's what they needed, but
Well, I had a flimsy one from like a doorway one, the ones that you like
yeah,
hook onto it, like so dodgy as well, from Argos, and I think it was like 20 quid. And you had to bend your knees every time because my doorway wasn't that high up and everything. But yeah, I mean, I think the pandemic also made people find their love for running, for instance. And I mean, as long as they found some way to get them moving, I think that was good.
well, during the first part of like lockdown, we lived in a different house. We had a garden. I had like outside I had one of those kind of stations where it was like a dip bars, pull up, like so it was like a pull up bar at the top, dip bars outside, and then we were allowed to take some equipment from the box. So I had maybe like a kettlebell or something from them, but I had a garage with a barbell, weight plates, so I could do a lot of training there. But in the house, we only had like 2 bedrooms, and we just had a second child. And so we were suddenly learning that just wasn't enough space for a family it was fine when I was at work and our eldest son was at school and stuff like that. Suddenly it was like, oh no, we're all at home all the time, there's no space. So we moved house, which was good for space in the house, but we lost the space to have all that stuff outside. And so, as you said, Flo, I started running, because I also live next to like there's the 2 tunnels in Bath that are basically, they used to be train. It was like a train track once long ago, but now it's a cycle path, walking kind of route thing. So I started running during the second lockdown, and of course, because I never did any running apart from when it was in a CrossFit class, and I just took that CrossFit mentality to running. So it was like, oh, I've got to start doing running. Okay, what do you people do? They do a 5K. So my first run was a 5K, because I was like, that's what running is, right? You go out and you do a 5K. I did a 5K a couple of times, and then I was like, okay, I should probably run a bit more now. So what's the next number? Well, obviously it's 10, because that's how things work. I jumped from 5 to 10. That was my and I really don't run as much anymore now that but we did just get a treadmill in the house to be able to still run through these like winter dark nights when it's pitch black outside and I don't want to go for a run. So we will see.
Yeah, we were opposites. So before COVID, I ran a fair bit, and then after COVID, because of CrossFit, I just stopped running, and now I'm like, ugh, I don't like running anymore.
I'm the
but
same.
Also, yeah,
completely the same. I used to do athletics before. Well, I did athletics till I left school, so I used to love running. Any workout with running in was like my type of thing. Now, absolutely not. Hate it.
I always worry that you're gonna go too far the other way and just decide to go the route like of, I'm just going to do Olympic lifting now.
No, not happening.
Really?
So strangely enough, people say this to me a lot, and a lot of people have said to me, I always expected you to go to Olympic weightlifting. I actually hate lifting in training. Like, it's my least favorite part of training.
Oh, but you're so good at it.
Yeah. But I like it in competition because I know I'll do well in it. But actually, for enjoyment in training, I much prefer like gymnastics, any erg stuff, anything like that is my favourite thing. Especially at the minute, I've seen like a lot of progress with that, and I think that that's what's made me enjoy it so much. So like national trials, the first workout was an endurance workout. So it was a 2,000 raw, 2,000 ski, 4,000 bike for time. Now, if you'd have given me that 6 months ago, it would have taken me forever. I ended up winning that workout by like a minute. And I was over the moon. So it's sort of like one of those things that like I've really like learned to love it recently, and like much prefer it now to lifting.
Really? How long did that take you?
25 or 3 was my time.
Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah.
It was only the ski. The row on the bike, I was holding like 2 minutes, sub 2 minute pace for 500. And then the ski just felt like it went on forever.
Well, yeah.
Well
Yeah, I
done.
think I did the triathlon once.
Oh, yeah.
And we finished on the ski. And it was just,
awful.
Yeah, it was horrendous. Also because I had such bad cramp in my legs from the run. So, yeah. Okay.
I think recently, so I work for, sorry to butt in, I work for this online fitness competition as well that's like erg and like body weight movement based. And the previous one, and again, it was like 3 types of ergs. Everyone smashed through the bike, and then there was a ski, and then you finish on the row. And everyone was like, yeah, the row and the bike were completely fine. It was just the ski in the middle just took everyone. And weirdly enough, like I much prefer the ski, but I cannot do the bike. My quads just.
Oh, I love the bike.
My quads just blow up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I don't know what it is about the bike. I'm just so bad at it. Like I just can't understand. Like I pedal and I pedal and I pedal and I'm like, why aren't the meters going up? Why does it feel like I'm not moving? So
no, love a bike.
So like when they say to run, if whenever we're in a workout, if there's, and considering, I mean, we're on a screen now, but if you can't guess, I'm very short. Molly's met me in person. She knows I'm not the tallest athlete in the world at all. So strange, but I enjoy like whenever we've got running, I'll always be kind of out the front of the pack, even though I don't really consider myself a runner, but I quite like running. And also with running, I just feel like you can always run. Like it doesn't matter how tired you get, how much you just put one foot in front of the other, you just keep moving. The idea that when they say like, oh guys, you have to do a 400-meter run, and someone's like, is anyone who can't run okay, get on a bike? I think you're insane. I'm like, why? And then they double the meters, don't they? They'll be like, oh, it's 400-meter run, or 800 on a bike. I'm like, 800 on a bike? Are you mad?
800 on a bike for me is so much quicker than running 400 meters.
It is quicker, yeah. But I guess like
and easier.
Running, at least like you could shake things out a little bit more. And you get the fresh air,
Yeah, you do. Although when
you just get
when we got some sun,
yeah,
but the rain is nice. Like when you go out, when you're doing a workout and it's part of the workout and you get to go out for that run, it's refreshing. Because I remember doing a workout when we had to, like, during the kind of peak British summer that we got to enjoy, and it was like the first time we'd had a run in a while, like when the weather had changed.
Yeah.
And I remember kind of being like, oh, dropping down off the pull-up bar, running out, being like, oh, finally some fresh air to kind of like, and it was so hot and it was horrible. I was like, oh, came back in from the run. I'm like, I don't feel any better. Like normally you go out for the run and you see you get some fresh air, you kind of shake things out. You come back in and you're like, oh, I feel a bit, I can pick up the barbell again, or I can jump up on the rig or whatever it is. And I was like, oh no, this hasn't worked. Like you're meant to feel better after the run.
No,
I just need to
never feel better after a run.
Do a pound to kilo conversion. I want to know how heavy Corey thinks I am. Okay, so The reason I was saying about the lifting, one, because you're very good at it, and then also, I think, is it Luke Fletcher that was also,
Yeah,
he was
he's won Olympic
there 2
weightlifting.
years ago when we were down at
There's
British
quite a few
Teams.
actually. Lottie Absalom has as well.
Oh, really? You see, they all.
There's quite a few transition from CrossFit to Olympic weightlifting. But yeah, it's just never something I just couldn't just do that by itself. Like, I've definitely thought, like, at some point, like, I'd like to do an Olympic weightlifting comp, maybe, but not prep for it necessarily. Just do it alongside CrossFit.
The flow technique. Just turn up and be like, I'm pretty sure my numbers will carry me to success. Yeah.
But
Well,
I think that is a good way to approach it, though.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, I mean, for me anyway, it's more about enjoyment and rocking up to a new sport, and you get to meet a new community and everything. And then if you happen to do well, then great, and then you can keep doing it. But I think, again, the benefit of us doing CrossFit is that maybe I just like variety, but also it just means that, well, one day I can do this, another day I can do that, but I can also enjoy like an Ollie lifting comp. Like, I do love it, but then I'm always, like, I guess, prepared for it in a way, because we have that in our training anyway.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not dedicated, but we're gonna do all right.
I mean, I don't lift a lot in training. It's sort of been like pushed to one side a little bit, just try and maintain my strength and just get everything else up. Which is working. So the lifts are still there. Did the SID qualifier as well last week.
Nice.
And I had a bad calf, so I decided I was going to power clean and push jerk. I hit 90 like it was nothing, and then just didn't bother going any heavier because I was a bit scared to hurt myself. So at least I know that it's always still there.
Yeah.
That it's annoying to hear, Molly. It's quite frustrating, but anyway, that's fine. What so hold on. So you're doing SID qualifiers. You're doing that as well, Flo, right? So you're both.
Yeah.
So are you? Where are you? Are you at Shapesmith currently?
Yeah. So that's my home gym. I guess, like, I learned it there. My coach there as well. But we have another team now. So my friend Tom, he set up a new gym called CrossFit Brock, and we're all very good friends. So we've got a team at his gym, and I've been starting to train more at his gym as well. So it's a really nice community.
Just in case anybody is listening from the SID oversight board, you're training at that gym. That's where you go to train, because.
Oh no, I do.
They're very hot on that. So, yeah.
You've seen my training from there. I've been lifting.
I'm just making sure they know. I'm just making sure they know, Flo. I don't want you to get disqualified.
Yeah.
So that's your team.
No. All of us. Yeah. All of us have been training down there, so it's been really fun, and also really happy to see him open his gym. So
yeah. And you, Molly, which box are you
at? Evolve in Hartlepool was CrossFit Hartlepool. So it's the first year that we've sort of properly gone for it. We tried a couple of years ago, and we ended up having to take my scores out because they had a rule that you had to be 18, and I was 16. So we sort of had a bit of a nightmare that year. But we've got a full team this year. We've done all the qualifiers now. And they are actually letting under 18s in with parents' consent. So we've got Lewin in, who went to the games this year and came 5th. So he's helping drag like the gymnastics up. So us doing sync gymnastics, I was dying.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
But you love gymnastics now. That's what you've told us.
You know what?
You hate lifting and you love gymnastics.
So I did the variation of the qualifier where it was like the 21-15, and then I had the 9 ring muscle ups off, and then did the 15 and the 21 of the pull ups in the chest to bar. So somehow I ended up doing the most reps out of everyone. But it went pretty well. We probably couldn't have gone any quicker, but I just felt like those 9 front squats and 9 ring muscle ups that I got off was like 0 time. And it was literally like a minute off, and then I was straight back on. But I enjoyed the qualifiers. They were good.
Very fun.
But I think that's also very indicative of like how it is if you actually compete like at SID. The way the work gets split up and sort of was it last year? I remember like Ella Wilkinson having to do. I think Jen Muir did like all the squats, and then Ella had to go and do like all the muscle ups. Sort of, and they were because
our team would very much be like that. Like, especially like heavy barbells wise, that's where we're sort of like our lifting score is probably not going to be our best score. So I've been told basically if we qualify, all heavy barbells go to me. I was like, okay, that's fine, I'll take it.
Even though you don't like lifting, this is.
I don't mind it in competition. I know I'll do all right. It's a little bit of like almost calms me down a little bit in competition because I'm always like, I know that I'll do okay in it.
That's good. You've done Olympic lifting competitions as well, though, haven't you, Flo? I'm sure I've seen you.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. So I did 2 years ago. I did just a tier 3 comp at Loa,
right?
And that qualified me to then the British. Yeah, that qualified me. Yeah, that qualified me to the British. So the British champs, and then that qualified me to the English champs at the end of last year. And then because that the qualifying period is for the whole year, that qualified me to this year's English champs. So I haven't actually competed in weightlifting for a whole year, but I mean, my score is up there. So I've currently accepted the invite, but it means that I do need to cut a little bit of weight. So it's going to be a fun month.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I don't know. I'm noticing a pattern like emerging slightly of kind of, I just casually rock up and qualify for all of these different things, which is great. But then it turns out that now I'm committed to 20 different competitions that all require slightly different skills, none of which I'm actually training. But it's fine. My fitness will carry me through.
Well, okay. I think that's why my coach hates me.
Which normally I would be like, no, I don't forget. But I think I understand it. I think it's got a point.
I hope
will you be making a run for semifinals again 2025? I mean, I know there's all these rumors swirling that it's all going to be online and all of that, so I don't know if any of that's true. But if it can, if unusually CrossFit decided to stick to having the same format 2 years in a row, which rarely happens, would you be trying to make a run for semifinals again, like doing that, or are you kind of having to start? Are you going to have to start saying no to things? I guess that's the question.
I think, I mean, fundamentally, the open is the open, right? Obviously, you can say, I guess through the stages, I most enjoy the quarters and then the workouts at semis because the higher skills kind of like come in, or maybe the weights get a little bit heavier. And I guess my relative weakness is more on the longer workout side, which tends to be the open. Right. But I need to get better at that sort of thing, and it tends to be the whole community coming together. So I know that if I don't do it, I'm gonna get FOMO as well. And so I'll most likely do it, and then we'll just see how we get on. Because also, I did say I am 30 now, so I feel like now I'm starting to think, what else is out there, and is this body gonna hack it? And
I thought you were thinking, so in a few, like I start looking at the masters divisions, and maybe I'll start going for that. And I was like, oh wow, already okay.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. I think just get through the next few comps, enjoy them, see how I like them, and then see what happens next year.
Okay. Well, I mean, get through this year first, which sounds absolutely bonkers to me. Molly, you've got obviously the big event in December.
Yeah.
You're doing qualifiers for SID Origins.
Yeah.
You've got the crown as well, you said. So you're 18 now, so
yeah. So this year was my last year in the teen division.
Yeah.
So sort of next year I'm very much like, I've got zero expectations with the Open and everything. Just gonna do it for fun in the gym, do quarters, and just basically just enjoy it. I mean, I did that this year. I was very lucky in that sense. I mean, obviously I didn't qualify for the games. I was 10 spots out. But I don't look back with any regrets, because I had like I enjoyed the Open, quarters and semis, and it's the first year where I've really been able to do that. So it was really nice with that, in that sense. Obviously disappointed that I didn't get to the games, but it's sort of just like zero expectations this year, just to have fun.
Yeah, welcome to my world, Molly. Zero expectations. You know you're not going to the games. I can't even go as a master because, as well, Corey's saying here that you've got 5 years before you're a master, and then you're a baby master. I'm still in the baby masters at the moment, but when I look at my masters category, the athletes that are there, Rich Froning, Scott Panchek, like I've got, I'm not one of the people who go, I'll wait till I'm a master and then I'll go, because the people that are masters in my category used to be at the games as elite individuals, so no chance. Even my affiliate, no chance. But anyway, it's I just like the idea that Flo's sort of saying, oh, of course I'll do the Open because it's the community, and my friends will be upset if I don't do it. Oh well, I might accidentally end up at semi-finals again because of that. And Molly's like, oh, and I've got zero expectations as well because I'm not, because now you're old, you're not a teen anymore. Well, you're a teen, but you're not in the teen division.
No.
But then Pitt actually did do that other age group as well. That was sort of the unofficial one. So I won't be surprised if I hear that, oh, Molly's jumping on a plane to go somewhere else again. Where's that? Oh, Pitt throw down. She's going to the game. So, wow, you both have very fun, full lives. Well, I look forward to hopefully seeing you in December, Molly, because that means things have worked out for me. But otherwise, that's exciting. I'm going to have to try and find the live stream and tune in and watch Flo dip, 60, 70 kilos. So that will be interesting. All the best with that. Safe journey tomorrow. What time is your flight?
Oh, not until the afternoon. So got a lazy morning.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Well, safe flight. Have fun at that event. Molly, all the best with what you've got coming up. I'm going to try and get a few more of the team on, because you've got the masters, the teens, the individual, and the team.
We've got a massive team going.
Yeah. Unbelievable. So I'll probably do something about that, and then who knows, I might even see you both at Sid Origins. But will you be at Fit Fest at all, Flo?
Yeah, I mean the English champs are at Fit Fest, right? So if I make the cut, if I do the cut, then I will be there. But no, to be honest, I'm going to be there anyway, because even if I don't compete, I'll be watching my boyfriend compete. So
yeah, well, because I saw you at UK champs, but
I was just watching.
You were just there. Well, yeah, I just saw you at just at the side by the leaning over the barrier, kind of watching someone, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's Flo, but I was supposed to be working, so I didn't come to say hello. But okay. So I'll probably see you there then anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm going to go. Well, at UK champs, the weightlifting, there were more spectators for the British weightlifting than there were for any of the CrossFit stuff. So
yeah,
if you make it onto the platform, then sorry, working. Okay, let's just quickly wrap up with a couple of comments here. 2021 was Corey's third Open. Apparently the beer looked good. Beard looked good. 5 minutes on a scale feels like 40. Agree. Corey also said I weigh 115 pounds, which is about 50 kilos. So that's not quite true. I'm a little bit more than that, but I do think that Flo and I are in the same weight category. So.
Really? Oh, but what does that say about me, though?
That you've got a lot of muscle. That's what that says.
So for
what weight?
For weightlift. Oh.
Yeah, sorry, 52 actually. Apparently, yeah. Well.
Yeah. So for weightlifting, I would need to just cut a couple of kilos, to under 64s.
Okay, no, I'm
And
not
then
that.
for street lifting, I don't need a cut at all because
No,
it's
you're in the
under
is it
70.
like 70? Yeah. So I would
Yeah.
be fine in that. Like I've recently I've worked really hard to get up and like stay at 70 and be above 70. And it's taken me years to do it. I for years I sat like 62, 64 kilos just all the time. And then when I started doing CrossFit, I managed to get up to like 68. And I stuck around that for ages as well. And now I've like forced myself to get a bit heavier. Yeah, all right. And then I don't need this. I don't need to be bullied. And then also Corey said that I was working, and that's true. I was sort of working. I was pointing a camera at stuff. Okay, and most importantly, thanks for coming on the show today, ladies. Yeah, so very true.
Thank you.
Very good. Yes, I've enjoyed it. Flo, come back on when you finish all your different comps and let us know how they all went. Hopefully, you crush all of the mass moves. I know that's why I can't. That's why I can't snatch as much as Molly as well. Like I just terrible. I'm converting to freedom units for you. Thanks. That's why I need Augustus in the comments. He's my Google document that just converts for me. Excellent. So thank you everyone for being there in the comments. We do appreciate it. Thank you, Flo. Thank you, Molly. I don't know shows next week yet. I will be on somebody else's show, but I will wait for them to announce that. So I will be somewhere. No, I know. Yeah, I actually thought that sounds bad when I said it. That made it sound insulting to Molly, but I meant it more as like, yeah, I can't even snatch as much as Molly can. I wasn't calling Molly fat. That's not what I was trying to say. But that's definitely, as it left my mouth, I did think that could easily be taken the wrong way.
Oh no, it's fine. I didn't think it like that.
And even if it wasn't a great clip, it is also true that I cannot snatch as much as Molly. So whatever the reason be, whether it's technique, Matt, I don't know, but I know I can't. So like that's not going to change anything. And I don't like how this is derailed. Anyway, next week, I don't know if there's any shows on my channel because I'll be leaving for Rogue on Thursday, but maybe there were. Yes, Jason snatches less than a teenage girl, but I think we know that already. So right, okay. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for watching. And just keep looking on the socials to see if anything shows up next week because it might do. I don't know. Thank you, Molly. Thank you, Flo.